Hi, Debbie here. Actually, you may not know me. I am the survivor of COVID-19. I got sick in January 2020 after frantically watching the FEMA reports, getting news flashes in my job. I work in social services. And I went to the doctor in January. They wouldn't even test me for anything. They just gave me a shit ton of antibiotics. I have a foul mouth, I'm sorry. I'm trying to introduce myself and tell you a story too. But I got on antibiotics, stayed away from work, and then March, I felt better. I was also on steroids, so I felt better artificially. And went back to work, and I work, like I said, in social services, and I was running around hanging up COVID-19 warning signs that were coming out from the health department. Some folks didn't like that, so they were tearing them down and sticking them on my office door. That was entertaining. And I was just totally trying to get my office and my staff prepared for what I could see coming. I was watching the John Hopkins the minute they posted it, and the statistics across the world and how it was spreading. And I knew it was going to be bad. And before I went to the hospital, I had gone to urgent care. And because I have arthritis everywhere, because at 23, I got to meet a drunk driver. And I have arthritis. That's that. Lily, shut up. Gee, many crickets. Ugh. But anyway, sorry. I'm so sorry. I get really distracted. And that's okay, because I'm doing this because this is who I am, and I am perfectly fine with me. I am almost 60 years old. And as I was saying, I went to the clinic, and they wouldn't test me because I didn't have a fever. They had so few tests. They had made these strict rules at the time about testing. So he told me to go home, and if I didn't feel any better by the next day or even the next hour, go to the ER. And he was very concerned. I went home, and I had just hired a new staff, and I needed to train them and get them ready, and I knew I was not going to be there, so I made up this enormous binder of trainings and this great big log on an email of all of the things he needed to read and do in my absence, which I thought would be for a week. And I went to the hospital after taking a nap, telling my kids that if I didn't feel better in the next, couple hours, I was going to take a nap, and then I would take myself to the hospital. Well, I woke up from the nap, and I could barely breathe. And when you have a hypoxic brain injury, you don't realize the fog that you're in. You don't realize that you're making bad decisions and that reality isn't necessarily what it is appearing. But I drove myself to the ER, and there I was met with people who were masked up in these yellow spacesuits, and they couldn't keep their own ventilators on straight, and they kept taking them off. And God, I know that people are exposed. But because I had it so long, I have long hauler syndrome, or I guess if we're calling it that. But anyways, if I didn't have it, the doctors told my son they were 99% sure that I had it. I had double opacities in my lungs and my x-rays from the pneumonia. I was seriously hypoxic and had to be ventilated. I was on a ventilator for, I think, about a month, and then I was in the hospital for about 2 months after that. At least that's what I recall. Or that's what my son tells me. Our dates get mixed up a lot. It was a long time. It was snowing when I went in, it was sunny, and the trees were blooming when I came out. And I'll tell you more about the experiences in the hospital later, but I don't remember anything until, I have these weird little flashes of being in the hospital. And then when I was in the ICU, that is. You don't remember anything when you're in a coma. But I couldn't read a clock. I couldn't dial my phone. I actually pitched my phone at the wall. I was so angry because I was trying to call everybody under the sun, and this is just crazy, to try to get me out of the hospital because I thought they were keeping me locked up. I felt fine. I didn't understand at the time that I had a brain injury. Somebody had to explain that to me. And I work in rehab, and I know a lot about brain injuries. I actually specialize in them as a vocational counselor. And I don't work as a counselor anymore. I work as a supervisor, but I was scared to death. I was afraid for my future. The hospital had me on a protocol where if I got off my bed, the alarm went. If I got up from the chair where they sat me, the alarm went off. I was setting up alarms all the time because I am a pacer. They finally had to strap me to the bed for a while. And I was scared until I had my MRI, and they told me I had a beautiful brain. Those sexy, sexy guys at the MRI Imaging Center at St. Joseph's Hospital in Bellingham. And dude, wear a motorcycle helmet, because the next time you aren't going to be as lucky. But anyway, back to the story. I was in the hospital, and I swear to God, the hospital was the walls were crying at night. I was having hallucinations. It was awful. But I survived, and I recovered, and I'm here. And it's interesting, I've been tracking different groups and reading messages on COVID long haulers. And it's an interesting phenomenon that I would love to see somebody study about how after the second vaccination, the brain fog lifts, which is really, really interesting and weird to me scientifically. But anyway, I survived. I am here. And I'm going to tell you stories like this one. Okay. This is my Instagram story. I got a kickback for this one. So settle in, children. So on Saturday, I was really, really high. Now, I live in a state where marijuana is legal, and my doctors know I'm on marijuana. Tell the police department and the fire department know after a couple weekends ago when they hauled my ass to the hospital. But anyway, I was so fucking high. And I was having this expansive thinking. And I emailed Jeff Bezos, and I emailed my lawyer friend, and then I was on this dating site because I want to date, and someday I will. But anyway, back to the story. I was really, really high. And I had a panic attack. And oh my fucking God, I have a foul mouth if I haven't said that before. I called the sheriff. I called my bank. I tried to cancel my phone number, which thank God I didn't because it's here now. I tried to I canceled my Apple Pay for some God unknown reason because I'm an idiot. I'm a technological idiot. So I'm having this panic attack. I'm on the phone with the sheriff. My son walks in and he's hearing what's going on. And I had sent in this text that said 911, 911. And then they came in and I sent them to the bank to pull all the money out of the bank because I didn't know what the fucking Apple Pay button was on my goddamn new iPhone. Blah. So the sheriff very politely said thank you and told me all the things I needed to do to keep my identity secure and tried really hard not to laugh at me. My son ran around going, oh my God, and patiently explained what the Apple Pay button was. And then I had to retract Facebook posts about canceling my phone number and apologize to this dude on the dating site because I totally slaughtered him because I am a Karen and I hate that name. Watch the respect video, people. But anyway, that's out. Mic drop. Cheers. Blessings to you all.